my name is Madeline, and welcome to this Yin Yoga class for relaxation and flexibility. So this class was requested by Nick Ryan, whose birthday it is, so happy birthday. Thanks for practicing. And we'll get into it. We'll just start with 3 deep breaths to ground into the space. So you can exhale the air out now. Take an inhale through the nose and exhale out the mouth. Deep inhale through the nose and exhale out the mouth. One more time, super deep inhale. And let it go out the mouth. And we'll do a tiny bit of movement before getting into our yin poses. We'll go for some seated cat-cows. You can bring the hands to the knees. And as you inhale, begin to arch the spine forward, looking up. And then round the back as you exhale. And you can continue like this or take any kind of movement that feels good in the body. So maybe that's some circles, maybe a twist. Just listen intuitively to whatever you're needing. And take one more breath here. Return back to center, no rush. And we'll come into our first yin pose, which will be a child's pose. So you can come onto hands and knees, bring those feet together, spread the knees wide on the mat, then sink the hips back towards the heels, and extend those arms out long. Maybe try to relax those arms a bit more than you usually would. You can bend at the elbows a little bit if that feels good. There's no need to extend yourself or to go super deep into the poses. Just try to relax and breathe deeply. And let's take a few more breaths in child's pose. Take one more deep breath here. And then slowly start to slide forward onto your belly. Take your time. We're going to move into a Sphinx pose. So coming forward on the belly and then bringing the forearms down on the mat parallel with each other. And the gaze can be out slightly in front of you. Option to grab a block and place it underneath the forehead. Option to walk those elbows out as well. Take hold of opposite elbows and look forward. Just as long as you're getting a nice opening in the heart space and the front of the chest. And send that breath up and down the spine. And remember, keep breathing here. And take one more really deep breath. And then slowly let it go, coming all the way down to the belly. You can stack hands on top of each other. And let the forehead rest on those hands for resting belly pose. Option to wiggle out those hips a little bit side to side, or swing those feet side to side, doing a couple of windshield wipers. And then return back to stillness, and we'll stay in this resting belly pose for a little bit, absorbing the effects of what we've done so far. And let's take one more deep breath here. And then slowly start to press back up onto hands and knees. Take your time. Once here, option to go for a couple of cat-cows, arching and rounding the spine. Take any movement that feels good. Then return back to center, and we'll come down into a seated position. This time to prepare for a butterfly. So you can start to bring those feet out in front of you, bring the soles of the feet together, and try to keep those legs in a nice diamond shape. Option to grab a couple blocks if you have them and place them underneath the knees. And you can stay here upright if this feels good. If you want some more, start to fold forward towards those feet, getting that nice opening in the hips. And really try to let the spine round and soften here. And let that head drop and relax. And keep up that deep breathing. And let's take a couple more deep breaths here. Taking one last deep breath. And then slowly pressing back up if you're folding forward. No rush here. Take your time. We can bring the hands to those thighs and gently draw the knees in. Maybe you want to windshield wiper a little bit here, rocking the knees from side to side. And then return back to stillness, and we'll extend those legs out long. This time we'll come into a half butterfly. So we'll bring that sole of the right foot to the left thigh. Option to grab a couple blocks here to place your forehead on. No worries if you don't want to do that. And we'll reach the arms up and then fold forward over that left leg. You don't have to go too far. And again, let that spine soften and let the head drop. And let's take a couple more deep breaths here. And then slowly draw those hands back up. You can stay in this leg positioning, and we'll take a little twist over to the right, drawing the left hand to right knee and right fingertips behind you. Just looking over the shoulder and taking one deep breath in and out. And then slowly coming back to center. Can release that right leg, maybe shake it out a little bit. And then we'll come into the other side, this time drawing the sole of the left foot to the right thigh. You can place those blocks in front of you if you like. And then we'll reach the arms up and fold over that right leg. And two sides can be really different, so just noticing the difference between both sides. And soften into the pose. And we'll take a couple more deep breaths here. We'll take one more inhale and then slowly press back up, keeping the legs in this position. And we'll twist over to the left now, bringing right hand to left knee, left fingertips behind you, and taking a deep breath in and out. And return back to center. And we'll extend that left leg out long. Again, option to shake the legs out a little bit here. And return back to center. And you might want to face the long way on your mat for this next pose, which is a dragonfly pose. So option if you have a blanket or bolster, you can sit up on that here. And then we'll extend left leg out long diagonally and the right leg as well. Doesn't have to be too much. You can always bend the knees as much as you need here. An option to place blocks underneath the knees as well, or blocks in front of you to rest your forehead on. Also, you can always stay upright in this pose. You don't have to fold forward, but if you want more, you can start to fold forward between those legs. And again, you don't have to go too far. Just surrender here. Let the body soften, let go of any tension. And the deeper you breathe, the deeper you're able to go into the pose. And let's take a couple more breaths in your dragonfly. And then slowly start to walk those hands up whenever you're ready. Really take your time here. Be gentle. And again, we'll take hold of those thighs and then slowly start to draw the feet and the knees back together. From here, option to take some slow windshield wipers, rocking side to side. And return back to center. And if you are facing this way on the mat, you can come back to face forward. And we'll extend the legs back out long. This will be our last forward folding pose. We're going to go for a caterpillar. So in caterpillar, you can bend the knees as much as you like here. If you want some more lower back opening, bend the knees a lot. If you want to feel it more in the legs, you can keep those legs pretty straight. So it's up to you. Option as well to grab a block, place it in between the knees for your forehead to rest on. So we'll reach those arms up and then fold forward over the legs. So really opening up that whole backside body. And continue those deep breaths. And take a couple more breaths here. Taking one last deep breath. And then slowly start to roll back up. Take your time. And this time we'll come all the way down onto our backs. Again, be gentle getting here. From here, you can hug those knees into the chest. Rock a little side to side if it feels good. And then we'll extend those legs out long. We'll come into a banana asana. So you can reach the arms up above your head as well. Shift the hips a little over to the right. And then start to walk those feet over to the lower left corner of the mat and the upper body over to the upper left corner of the mat. So both hip points on the ground here. And you're in this crescent-like shape. Option to cross right ankle over left. Maybe grab hold of right wrist with the left hand. Option to take hold of opposite elbows if that feels better. or go for any arm variation that feels good. And send the breath into that whole right side body. And take one more deep breath here. And if the ankles are crossed, beginning to uncross them, let go of the wrist, and then slowly draw the body back to center. You can release those arms. We'll just pause at center for a couple of moments, noticing the difference between the two sides. We'll come onto the other side now, this time shifting hips over to the left, arms above you, and walk the feet over to the lower right corner of the mat and the upper body over to that upper right corner of the mat. Option to cross left ankle over right, and maybe grab hold of left wrist with the right hand, or take any other arm variation that feels good. And this time, sending the breath along the whole left side body. And let's take a couple more deep breaths here. Taking one last deep breath. And if those ankles are crossed, begin to uncross them. Let go of the wrist and slowly make your way back to center and release those arms down by your sides. This time, option to hug the knees into the chest again and rock a little side to side. And then bring those feet to plant down on the mat. We'll come into a reclining pigeon now. So you can start to bring that right ankle on top of the left thigh. And if this feels good, you can stay here. If you want a little more, start to draw that left knee into the chest. And you can wrap the hands around the hamstring or in front of the shin. Whatever feels good, as long as you're feeling a nice opening in that outer right hip. And let's take a couple more breaths wherever you are. And if you're hugging that knee into the chest, slowly begin to drop it back down to the mat and release that right ankle. And we'll pause here for a moment before getting into the other side. And whenever you're ready, you can start to draw that left ankle to the right thigh. Again, option to stay here, or if you want some more, draw that right knee in towards the chest. Maybe grab hold of the hamstring or in front of the shin. And again, the sides can be very different here, so you don't have to do the same variation you did on the other side. Let's take a couple more breaths here. And if that right knee is hugging in, just beginning to drop it back down, letting it go. You can start to release that left leg as well. Extend those legs out long. We're not going into Savasana quite yet, but just pausing on the mat for a little rebound on your back. And take one more breath here. And then whenever you're ready, start to draw the knees back into the chest. Maybe rock a little side to side. And then from here, we'll come into a happy baby. We won't be here as long as the other poses since it can be pretty intense. But whenever you're ready, start to reach those feet up towards the sky. Let the knees drop. Maybe grab hold of the outsides of the feet. And at first, option to rock a little side to side. And then start to find some stillness for a minute or so. And we'll take a couple more breaths here. Take one last deep breath. And then slowly start to let it go. You can rock knees a little side to side. Doing whatever feels right here. And then hug the knees back into the chest. And we'll come into a reclining twist. So you can start to shift the hips a little over to the left. And then let those knees drop over to the right. And you can extend that left arm out into a T shape or a cactus shape. Option, you can always place a block or bolster in between those knees or beneath the knees if that feels good. And try to get that left shoulder to stay pressing down on the mat here. And send the breath up and down the spine. And take one more deep breath here. And then slowly start to draw those knees back into center. And we'll go right into that other side, this time shifting hips a little to the right and letting the knees drop over to the left and reach that right arm out into a T shape or cactus shape and send the breath up and down that spine. And we'll take one more deep breath here. And then slowly start to draw those knees back in, no rush. Option to rock a little side to side here, one more time. And from here, start to take any final poses or movement your body is needing before we head into Savasana. Maybe you want to go for a snail pose or whatever feels good. And then no rush at all. Whenever you're ready, you can extend those legs out long. Let the arms drape out to the sides and surrender into the earth for your final resting pose, Shavasana. And I'll let you know when it's time to come out of it. So just try to completely relax here. And if you have the time, I encourage you to stay in the Shavasana for as long as you like. If you have to get going, we'll close with one final breath, exhaling all the air out now. Take a deep inhale through the nose, and then a big sigh out the mouth. And thank you so much for practicing with me today. I hope you're feeling more relaxed. And if you would like to see more Yin Yoga classes like this, please subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you again next time.